You may not believe this, but outbound prospecting is the cold calling technique that works. In this free video series, we're going to show you why and what it means to your business. So, let's get this show on the road with 5 powerful tips to make your prospecting as productive as possible. Prospecting goes beyond just finding the right person. In fact, in our industry, we pretty much know who the players are. They're the dealer principals. Okay, so that was easy. Now we start the real work. We need to prospect to close for the appointment. This requires different techniques than closing for a sale. And they're not only required, they're mandatory. With today's many distractions, it's vital to catch prospects via phone and engage them in a quick conversation to begin the buying process. The best sales reps methodically set aside time to hit the phones in search of those crucial conversations. Unfortunately, many salespeople are relying on email to prospect, and while email marketing is immensely popular, tune-out rates are at an all-time high. After tracking the origin of 635 scheduled meetings with VP-level executives, our reps discovered that 78% of meetings were scored by conversations over the phone and only 9% through email with no conversation at all. If that's not a compelling reason to call, odds are you don't get it or you're lazy. Now, that said, let's move on to the tips. The first tip is about what you need to do before you even pick up the phone. It's called preparation. Your first tip is 3x3 research. Now, what you're going to do here is research and create 3 talking points because there's nothing worse than getting through to a dealer principal and not being prepared. Then you wing it. Don't. That's just dumb. Instead, utilize online tools like LinkedIn, Data.com, Inside View, and Zoom Info to gather information on the person that you're calling. Take the time to do 3 minutes of research to identify 3 key talking points before you begin any conversation. Seeing that a dealer principal is on an industry board or speaking at an industry conference, for example, is invaluable information that you can use to warm up any call. What you do is to use this information to prove that you're not just another F&I call. You're truly something different. One of the best ways to do that is tip number 2. Speak as a peer, not a marketer. Executives don't enjoy talking to telemarketers, but they love chatting with peers. Now, you may not ever be a peer to a dealer principal, but you can at least look like you travel in their circles. Thinking like a dealer will help to elevate you to the level of business peer, not just a vendor or a salesperson. Using a technique called client voice, you can transcend the typical cold call and become an advisor to the dealer principal earlier in the buying process. Client voice is simply a way of phrasing things from the perspectives of your client, not from the perspective of you, the salesperson. People care about what their peers are doing, other people that are like them. Know what's happening with other dealerships in the area. Remember, in this phase, you're simply closing for a meeting, not a sale. Tip number 3, get the cell phone number. Potential buyers are more mobile than ever, and U.S. attitudes towards cell phones have really relaxed. By dialing their cell phone, you instantly get past the gatekeepers and the electronic barriers. Placing a cold or warm call to a cell phone requires excellent call opening technique and the ability to engage in a conversation quickly. If you know how to get cell numbers and start conversations the right way, you're going to have a very loaded pipeline very fast. Tip number 4, if the cell's out of reach, go for the direct line. Our internal research indicates that calling direct lines is up to 3 times more effective than calling through the switchboard to make a connection to a dealer principal. It's a time investment that shows big payback when it comes time to try to get them on the phone. You can triple the effectiveness of your outbound calling effort if you double the number of direct lines that are on your calling list. Now, here are 3 reasons why you get more people on the phone with direct lines. Number 1, caller ID looks different. If you're a heavily solicited dealer, would you pick up a call that shows it's coming through the switchboard or from reception? Not a chance. Number 2, sometimes the dial-by-name directories are turned off after hours, and that's precisely the time that you want to catch a dealer in the showroom. Number 3, call routing. This allows you to bypass the switchboard and sometimes even bypass the assistant if you've got the direct line. Let's talk about how to get direct lines. Though I'm not willing to reveal all of our secrets, now to learn that, you'll need to attend the workshop on August 21st and 22nd. I will offer you up some primary places to get direct lines that are going to help with your sales intelligence. And speaking of sales intelligence, that's the first tool. Use your sales intelligence tools. There are a ton of paid sources for direct dial phone numbers that work with varying degrees of accuracy. Check out Inside View. This offers a bevy of direct lines as well as aggregated information on the company and contact information pulled in from all over the web. At Vorsight, we're a big user of Inside View's sales intelligence tool for doing our 3x3 research prior to calling. ZoomInfo is an interesting database source that's based on web crawlers that constantly refresh the data. In the same vein, we've got Net Prospects, which also uses human beings to verify each record. Now, there's a novel concept, isn't it? These data sources, sales intelligence tools are all great, but they only get you to first base in your quest for direct lines. To up your percentage, you need to call into the target account. Next tip for getting direct lines: calls into the account. Now, if you close your eyes and think of an executive assistant, does an image of a big, burly bouncer at a club pop into your mind? Many people at organizations are trained to be nasty pit bull gatekeepers. Yet, for every professional gatekeeper, there are 100 times more people who have access to the same directory and who haven't been trained in the ways of a gatekeeper. As a salesperson, you need to have the savvy to find these people and ask them for the info in just the right way if you want to get it. This is easier said than done. Here's some ideas for you to try calling into and probe for some direct lines. Try the switchboard operator at a different location. Floor receptionists or admins that don't directly serve the dealer principal but are still around. The IT help desk, sales and customer service lines, random employees who don't really care, the mailroom. Now at Vorsight, we know exactly what to say in each of these and in many other situations in order to get that direct line. In each case, our methods are totally ethical and truthful, something that we see as more important than all the direct lines combined. Calls into admin and support people at a dealership are the most surefire way to get accurate direct lines. So hopefully you've enjoyed this intro into the incredible power of outbound cold calling, because it really is the tool that works. And to be able to get more on this and expand on all these tools and techniques, you need to join us in Arlington, Virginia on August 21st and 22nd, 2012, when Steve Richard is going to take you through all of these tips, techniques, and give you even more to help you build your business through outbound calling.